It's Weekend Update with Colin Jost and Michael Che.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome to Weekend Update. I'm Colin Jost.
I'm Michael Che. And, well, 1 week has passed since Donald Trump's been elected president. Now, it hasn't been great, but it also hasn't been good or even fine. So while half the country is worried that Trump is going to make America unsafe for women and minorities, the first guy he hired was the former chairman of Breitbart News and fitness enthusiast, Steve Bannon. Ugh, that face, though. Breitbart News has been criticized by the left for being a sexist, racist, white nationalist news site. Strong words. I don't know if I'd call it a news site. Calling Breitbart a news site is like calling the R. Kelly sex tape a rom-com.
Donald Trump also nominated Alabama Senator Jeff Sessions for Attorney General, even though Sessions was denied a federal position 30 years ago for making racist remarks. But you know what they say, if at first you don't succeed, wait 30 years until history lurches backwards. The thing that surprises me most about all these picks is how lazy they are. They're just whoever's lying around Trump's office. He basically did a Yelp search with a radius of 10 feet. At this point, if you just wandered into Donald Trump on the street and you were wearing a suit, there's a 90% chance he'd make you Secretary of Education. And half of the guys he's picking have been unemployed. Is this what he meant by bringing jobs back? I think Trump is just surrounding himself with people who make him look better. I mean, that was kind of the point of Celebrity Apprentice. People think Trump's a great businessman because he is, compared to Bret Michaels and Lou Ferrigno.
It was reported that Donald Trump was surprised by the scope of the responsibilities of a president. Yeah, dude. Being president is hard. That's why Obama looks like he spent 8 years in a turkey smoker. Obama's the only guy that gave up cigarettes and somehow looks worse. You know, I don't even think Donald Trump ever wanted to be president in the first place. I mean, nobody's judging a swimsuit contest with Dennis Rodman while also wanting to bring back jobs to rural Pennsylvania. I think he just wanted to win the election because everybody said he couldn't. It's like dating. Chasing someone that's hard to get is always more fun than the actual relationship. He just liked the chase. He enjoyed wooing America for 18 months. He loved making crazy promises. Even when the media was saying Trump was crazy, he was like, baby, stop listening to your dumb fat friends. They're just jealous. And it worked somehow. America said yes. But now the chase is over and the relationship starts. And it's not fun anymore. He's getting texts from Dennis Rodman in the middle of the night like, bro, let's go hit up a pageant. And he's like, I can't, man. She's making me put together a cabinet. I promised her a wall. I got to have dinner with China. I don't like this. Clearly, he's not ready for this commitment. That's why every time America brings up moving to D.C., he's like, yeah, babe, I think I'm going to keep my place in New York.
Donald Trump is considering splitting his time between the White House and his Manhattan residence, which would cost taxpayers tens of millions of dollars. But it's all worth it to help a billionaire go night-night in his big boy bed. One thing I keep hearing all week was, can you believe Trump is doing this? Yeah, it's Trump. His whole platform was about how he's not going to be a normal president. The only real model we have for a Trump presidency is the movie First Kid. But I'm just worried it might all end less like First Kid and more like Independence Day.
Major media outlets such as CNN, The Washington Post, and The New York Times have criticized Trump for walking back his more controversial campaign promises. But shouldn't the media be encouraging him when he's moving in the right direction? I mean, maybe if you ran complimentary headlines, you could trick him into doing what you really want. For example, instead of this headline that says Trump breaks promise to lock up Hillary Clinton, maybe try something more positive, like heroic Trump saves grandma. Or you could change Trump flip-flops on repealing Obamacare to generous Trump honors unemployed black man's last wish. You see, he'll like that.
Mike Pence on Friday was booed by the audience after seeing the Broadway hit Hamilton. Of course he was booed. He's a guy from Indiana who believes in gay conversion therapy. Visiting Broadway is how people from Indiana realize they're gay.